that one was the one, but it was for the wrong. It had the wrong result. It made him a very, very dangerous man, and you could see how intense he was on wanting to go out there. And even when he was throwing in early in the fight, when he was throwing counter punches, I've never seen him throw with that kind of, like Mike Tyson used to say, bad intention.
Any kind of success or any kind of result, especially after that performance. Usyk's getting better and better. He just improves every time he fights, and now he's bigger and thicker set, 20 pound heavier tonight than what he was when he beat Usyk.
In recent training footage, Oleksandr Usyk looks absolutely phenomenal, like no other fighter in the sport today. His training methods are unorthodox and deeply refined, sharpening his vision and reflexes to an extraordinary level. It's as if he sees punches coming before they're even thrown. Every movement is calculated, focused, and nearly surreal. This rare and cerebral approach is what makes him so elusive and difficult to break in the ring. Heading into his rematch with Daniel Dubois, Usyk faced serious doubts. Critics questioned whether he could still dominate younger, stronger heavyweights. But instead of showing hesitation, Usyk put on a clinical performance that silenced all skepticism. His footwork, timing, and composure were flawless throughout the fight. Analyst Russ Somber noted that Usyk came into the bout with something to prove, and he did exactly that. Usyk controlled the tempo, picked Dubois apart with precision, and demonstrated that his elite skill set hasn't diminished. This was more than just a win. It was a declaration. Usyk is still a force at the top of the heavyweight division, and his mastery remains untouched.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised because I had never seen him so intent on wanting to knock somebody out. It's the quickest knockout he scored, I think, in his professional career.
Yes,
I'd
even
have to
at
look
cruiserweight.
I'd have to look to be sure, but it's the quickest knockout he scored. He was a man on a mission.
Yeah.
He was really personally hurt and offended by the remarks made by Team Dubois, by George Fox, Don Charles' son, by Don himself. I think the straw that broke the camel's back was questioning Usyk's faith.
Yes.
Now you could question a lot. You can question his skill, question boxing, or whatever you want. Questioning his faith, bro.
Yeah.
That was something that really hit a chord, and you don't often. Tyson Fury couldn't get to
he tried
Usyk
every head
mentally,
game in
right.
the book.
But that one was the one, but it was for the wrong. It had the wrong result. It made him a very, very dangerous man, and you could see how intense he was on wanting to go out there. And even when he was throwing in early in the fight, when he was throwing counter punches, I've never seen him throw with that kind of, like Mike Tyson used to say, bad intentions.
Yeah, bad intentions, yeah.
He was throwing with bad intentions, yeah.
Usyk is more than just a boxer. When conflict broke out in Ukraine, he took the risky decision to serve his nation at the height of his career. Usyk took up the duty of standing up for his country. While others could have fled to safety, he gained a great deal of respect at home for this sacrifice, which demonstrated that he had both the bravery of a patriot and the pride of a champion. He is now regarded as a once-in-a-generation fighter worldwide, which says volumes about his path from being disregarded by certain British boxers and fans. He didn't expect to be respected. With his heart in his hands, he earned it.
Usyk's involvement in the war began when he enlisted in the Ukrainian Territorial Defense Forces after the Russian invasion. His decision to fight for Ukraine has had a profound impact on the country, making him a symbol of hope and resistance. Usyk's presence on the front lines has boosted the morale of the Ukrainian military and civilian population alike. So this man kept his heavyweight championship, continued to be heavyweight champion, no losses, nothing on his record, and still went and defended his country during war. Given that, you gotta give him the greatest heavyweight fighter of all time. His accolades inside the ring, match it. But now that I find this out that the man was in the front line, and they said that even after the Fury fight, he was keeping in contact with the soldiers, and he was, boosting the morale and boosting his countrymen and raising money for the war. Regardless of the politics, whether the war should be going on or not and who should be killing who, it don't matter. The man went to war.
Carl Froch publicly recognized the increasing dominance. Usyk seems more polished, physically more powerful, and more astute strategically with each battle, given his prior setbacks and weaknesses. Froch pointed out that Joseph Parker would not be a serious danger, particularly in light of Usyk's challenge. Froch even said that Usyk might want to think about retiring soon, considering what he's accomplished. He has defended his championships, defeated other divisions, and made a name for himself as the greatest of his time. It wouldn't add anything fresh to his legacy to face someone like Moses. Rocha's perspective captures an emotion that many people have. There is nothing more for Usyk to prove.
Heavier tonight than what it was when he beat Fury, which I said earlier. He just looks like a big, solid heavyweight, big, solid, dangerous heavyweight, but I'd like to see him retire. He's 38 years old. Eventually, it's going to catch up with him, the age, and there's nothing left to do. He's made an absolute fortune, and he don't need it anymore. He's done it. He's clocked it. He's completed it. It's like he's got the cheat code, and it's like it's not fair on everybody else. So I'd like to see Usyk retire. Let me know in the comments who you'd like to see him fight next. Somebody like Moses Atoma, I just don't think is going to be ready. I think if you're managing Moses, you need to take your time with him. You can't be chucking him in there. People say, yeah, chuck him in there with him, fight him, see how he goes. If he gets beat, he's lost to Usyk. But it could destroy his soul. It could take away that young, promising prospect that Atoma is. He could have a good future, and to fight somebody like Usyk now, if he got wiped out and got disheartened, it could be the end of his career. So I just think Usyk now, really, nobody can say anything to Usyk if he retires now after that win. He's done everything there is to do. Fury twice, AJ twice, now Dubois twice. There's nobody else left to beat. He's done it. Usyk should just hang the gloves up. He's been a fantastic addition to the heavyweight division since coming up from cruiserweight. He's been absolutely brilliant, and what he did tonight against Dubois was nothing short of just, it made it look easy. And I don't want to disrespect Daniel Dubois, but he just made it look easy, and he does make rounds look easy, doesn't he? Whoever is in with, whether he's in with Tyson Fury, or whether he's in with AJ, he makes it look easy.
Without Joseph Parker is still mentioned as Usyk's possible next opponent, not many people think it would be a real test. According to styles and experience, the majority consider it to be a mismatch. An alternative suggestion was made by Oladipo, who brought Derek Chisora back for a second fight. His justification was more about showmanship than competition. Regardless of the result, Chisora is renowned for making every battle feel like an occasion. Buzz might be generated by his raw energy, unpolished manner, and commercial stunts. From a competitive standpoint, though, neither Parker nor Chisora appear capable of really challenging Usyk. In his present condition.
Then, well, here it is. Here's your world title shot. You're going to fight for a world title, right? But if you're Joseph Parker, and I spoke to Andy Lee, it isn't just a case of fighting for a world title. You want to fight the number one for the world title, and that guy is Oleksandr Usyk. So, yeah, there must be loads of conversations going on right now. Loads of conversations. I did say this the other day, and I don't know, sometimes I'm like, when I was in the ring and I was interviewing Oleksandr Usyk, I was desperate because of my love for Joseph Parker. I was desperate for Joseph Parker to get, I know he got in the ring after, but I'm talking about on the zone. So whilst everyone is still in the stadium and everyone's still tuned in, I was desperate for him to kind of just jump in the ring. I was desperate for him to do it. Chisora was trying to do. So Chisora knows how to play the game. And as much as people are like, what's Chisora doing? Chisora won't get the fight, but that's kind of what you got to do. And I know people are like, well, 1 second, it's not like that. It's rankings. Well, no, it's not though, is it? Because again, Oleksandr Usyk can vacate the belt. He can say no. You have to kind of do what Daniel Dubois did last time. Daniel Dubois, rightly or wrongly, got in the ring, pissed Usyk off. Usyk's like, okay, we'll if this is what you're doing, dude, we'll fight. And I felt like there was a time where I wanted Joseph Parker to almost nudge me, and I'm telling you now, we're kind of told not to give the mic. I don't know if you see, I always hold onto the mic. I would have given Joseph Parker the mic, and I would like Joseph Parker, because there's a mean side to Joseph Parker. I think everyone sees the friendly side. I've seen the mean side, and I wanted Joseph Parker to say, I want my shot. You've been ducking me. all these things might not be true, but do it, sell it. The crowd would have gone a bit wild, right? Because I think a lot of the crowd want Joseph Parker to get his shot, but that's not what happened. And all of a sudden, you're seeing Jake Paul in the ring doing a face-off. You're seeing all these, and I'm like, where's Joseph Parker? Where are you, Joseph?
The fact that some people have begun to compare Usyk to Muhammad Ali is not shocking, despite the differences. In their techniques, the spirit of grandeur they embody seems familiar. They both have ring intellect that surpasses innate skill. They utilize rhythm, deception, and strategy in addition to blows to confound opponents. The same qualities that made Ali a legend are reflected in Usyk's capacity to read a fight, adjust, and destroy his opponent. Their proficiency in boxing as an art form is what makes them comparable, not their notoriety or legacy. It demonstrates the extent to which Usyk's influence is felt in this day and age.
Interesting heavyweight division, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought of Usyk's performance, where he ranks on the all-time list. I know, everybody was big into their nostalgia, but remember, Soviets were not turning pro until the 90s, and I think that makes a big difference. That's another thing. Heavyweights are bigger. Lefties are more common now, and also the Soviet era of fighters did not start turning pro until the 90s. So the old days, they didn't have to deal with those guys. So a lot of things that also favor Usyk being a GOAT. But of course, man, it's hard to pick against Ali being the GOAT.
Old Roy Jones Jr. expressed genuine surprise at how thoroughly Oleksandr Usyk dismantled Daniel Dubois. While Dubois is known for his size and punching power, Jones pointed out that his approach was far too basic to challenge someone as technically refined and mentally sharp as Usyk. In Jones's view, brute strength alone will never be enough to beat a fighter of Usyk's caliber. What's required is strategic intelligence, adaptability, and a deep understanding of the sport. Usyk, according to Jones, studies opponents like a chess grandmaster, analyzing patterns, spotting habits, and exploiting even the smallest mistakes with surgical precision. Unless a fighter comes in with a near-perfect game plan and the ability to adjust round by round, they simply won't survive in the ring with him. Coming from a legend like Roy Jones Jr., this assessment carries weight. It also highlights the growing divide between good heavyweights and truly elite ones. Usyk doesn't just win fights, he mentally disarms his opponents, forcing them to unravel under pressure. Any heavyweight who believes that sheer power will get the job done is already on the path to defeat. As Jones emphasized, Usyk's true weapon isn't just his fists, it's his mind. That's what makes him extraordinary.
Oleksandr Usyk, what did you make of his display against Daniel Dubois last Saturday? It was something else, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was, but it was nothing less than I expected, because if you make a guy quit with a jab, Spencer, you know this, if you make a guy quit with a jab, how is that guy ever going to beat you? You understand me? I mean, that's just what the real facts are. Not that the kid had got a little bit better. He got a little bit more confidence because he had a win over Joshua, which was good, but confidence is just not enough to beat a guy like Usyk. You got to have some technique. You got to have some grit. You can't lose to him with a jab and think you're going to beat him. That's not going to work.
Roy, you was a smaller guy that went up and won the world heavyweight title, one of the only ones to do that from middleweight up to heavyweight. How does someone beat Oleksandr Usyk? Is it the smaller guy? Is it the guy that's coming up in the weight divisions, as opposed to the bigger heavyweights?
No, the bigger guys could beat him. You just got to have the right fight plan. None of these guys fighting with the right fight plan. And I'm not going to tell them the right fight plan because that's not my job to do. But you got to have the right fight plan to fight Usyk. If you don't have the right fight plan, he's going to destroy you.